you believe in tech, if you believe in Silicon Valley, truth is that the market is here to stay, and tech will continue to enable and drive the Silicon Valley real estate market. This is Danny Gould with the Selling Silicon Valley Group. Welcome everyone to another Silicon Valley Market Snapshot for the third week here in October of 2020. Before we get into the data, if you are a home buyer in today's market and you are looking for a very comprehensive data set similar to the data that we're sharing here today, go ahead and text the word data plus the neighborhood or city or zip code that you're looking in, and we will get you a comprehensive data set for the areas that you're looking for. And if you are a home seller or you're thinking about selling your home and you want to optimize the pricing for your property, go ahead and text the word data plus your property address, and we will get you a very robust and comprehensive data set that will help guide you, because in today's market, pricing is the most integral part of the listing process, along with the marketing. But the marketing plus the pricing equals winning or losing in this market. It really, really matters. And I know what all of you are thinking. Danny, why are you wearing a Dodgers hat? The disappointment on some of your faces, I can see it right now. I can see it, and I gotta say, go Dodgers. If you follow me on social media, you know that I am a Dodgers fan. Why am I a Dodgers fan? Well, I was raised, my dad is a Dodgers fan. He's a Lakers fan. He's an LA fan. He was born and raised in LA. Well, not born, but raised in LA. And of course, when I was born with a Dodgers hat on my head. And that's it. That's it. I just, I can't help it. It's in my blood. And for the next 7, 8 days, go Dodgers. Plus, I look better in blue anyways. I don't look good in orange. I don't. But anyways, let's get into the data. Let's get into the numbers, everyone. Enough joking around. And if you guys want to give me a hard time in the comment section, I don't blame you. The narrative for this week, it's interesting because if you watch my video a few weeks ago, I was talking about the ramp up into election season and how we could see a slowdown in activity. And all signs point to that not being the case at this point. Month to date versus last month, we are neck and neck in most counties in terms of pending sales, and that's really what we're using at this point. It's the litmus test to gauge whether or not we're doing well and homes are still moving. And when we look at all of the different counties, almost every single county is up in terms of pending sales month to date, month over month, looking back in September versus where we are right now. So let's pull up the data here. In Santa Clara County, we're seeing a 7.8% increase in pending sales month to date versus this time last year. We were expecting earlier on in this month, we were seeing kind of like a slower ramp up into the month versus last month. And I was expecting to see pending sales dip a little bit going into election season. The fact that the pending sales have remained so strong and are actually outperforming where we were last month is not only shocking, I think it's quite indicative of the ludicrous market that we're in here in Santa Clara County. But there are some exceptions to that rule, and we're going to get into that at the end of this video. So stay tuned. If you're looking for properties that are, I would say, or areas that are opportunistic, if you're looking for areas of opportunity, go ahead and stick around till the end of the video. Now, going on to San Mateo County. San Mateo County is up. Pending sales are up 3.9% month to date, month over month, meaning that things are still moving quite well. Now these aren't drastic changes by any means, ladies and gentlemen, but what you have to understand is that we were expecting a dip, and the fact that pending sales are still outpacing where we were at this point last month is ludicrous. I mean, that means that there is more activity right now. There's more demand. Buyers are still buying. They don't care about the election. They don't care about COVID. They don't care about this or that. The buyers are out there in droves right now, and they are buying real estate up. Moving on to San Benito County. This is one of the only exceptions to the rule. We are seeing a dip in pending sales, a pretty significant dip of about 18%. Now, considering how incredible the last few months have been for San Benito County, this is not a surprise. And honestly, it's just a slight neutralization of the crazy, ridiculous market, a very unusually crazy market for San Benito County. I mean, the pending sales have skyrocketed. You're looking at, if you look back last year, there was only 1 month, July in 2019, where we came even close to where we've been over the last 3 or 4 months in San Benito County, just in terms of pending sales, not to mention the lack of inventory. And so those two things combined are really setting San Benito County up for I believe, a strong winter. But this dip in pending sales should be indicative of that maybe cooling off a little bit, but it's still going to be a great market if you're a seller in San Benito County. Moving on to San Francisco. San Francisco has been honestly the storyline here for the last 3 months. Nothing's changed. The inventory is still growing month over month, and pending sales are still growing also month over month, but not nearly enough to keep up with just the insanely high inventory levels in San Francisco. I mean, if you are a home seller in San Francisco, if you do not need to sell right now, don't sell. It's a bad market there right now. Contra Costa County, moving on, we're looking at an 8% increase in pending sales. That to me, and a rise in inventory. What the crazy thing is that I expected most of these counties to see a dip in inventory levels and pending sales. We're seeing in a lot of these counties where the inventory is fairly flat or a little bit above where we were, and the pending sales are just a little bit above where they were, or even in some cases like a fairly significant amount over where they were last month. Incredible. I don't know how to explain it other than people are just unfazed or less fazed by the election than they've been in previous years. And of course, that still remains to be seen how all that plays out, right? Like, we still have plenty of time for the market to react, if you will, to the election, especially once the results are out. That being said, I mean, leading up to the election, we expected a slowdown. And the fact that the pending sales in Contra Costa County are up 8% month to date, month over month, is absurd. We go over to Alameda County, pending sales again up 5% month over month, month to date, month over month rather, which is very, very strong. You know, what's fascinating to me is that leading into the fall months, I was expecting the market to continue to thrive. And if you watched last week's video, you'll know that all of the major economists are expecting, they are predicting next year's growth in real estate, or next year to be a growth year, an appreciation year for real estate. No neutral market, no dip. The average economist is predicting a 4-point jump, a 4-point appreciation in 2021. But I didn't expect election season to be this, like, I didn't expect this to continue right through election season and into next year. I expected it to start maybe December, January, right, where we had a few months of a cooler environment. That being said, there are some pockets of condos and townhomes in the area that have actually experienced neutral markets, and in some cases even down into buyer market territory over the last month or so. Now, before we go into that, Selling Silicon Valley Group, my team has partnered with the Homelight Trade-In Program. We're one of 2 teams in the entire Bay Area that have access to this program. If you own a condo or a townhome, or if you're looking to upsize or downsize and only having to move once, this program is for you.
This is you. Hi there. You own a home, but you want to buy a new one. But before you can do that, you need to sell your current home. Homelight Trade-In makes it easy. We'll give you an all-cash offer for your current home to take it off your hands, and give you the money to buy your new home. You move when you're ready. We don't really need your house, so we'll put it on the market. We'll work with a top real estate agent in your area to sell it at full market value. The best part? If and when the house sells for more than what we paid you, we'll send you a check with the difference. You get the full market value of your old home, and you get to move into your dream home on your schedule. Buy and sell without the hassle. Homelight Trade-In.
Trade-in is a super cool program, and I'm really excited to be bringing that to all of our clientele here in the Bay Area. We've already successfully used it a couple of times with our clients in this area, and so we're excited to continue to allow people to get from where they are now to where they want to be with the most amount of money in their pocket, and then also only having to move once, which is the most convenient thing ever. I mean, honestly, it's the best of both worlds. Now, getting on to the condo sector, there's a couple of markets in the Mid-Peninsula in particular that have stood out to me. We always think of Cupertino as being one of the hottest markets, the best markets to sell in the Bay Area, but recently we've seen the condo market in Cupertino dip to 28% absorption rate levels, which is neutral market territory, meaning that homes are taking anywhere from 3 to 6 months to sell. There's 3 to 6 months of inventory on the market as we speak in Cupertino, which is a lot of homes. And it means that things aren't being eaten up as quickly. And so if you're looking for, say, an opportunity to get something at maybe lower than what you would have gotten it for 6 months ago, that is definitely one of the areas that I would keep my eye on. Another area that's very interesting to me right now is the Mountain View sector. Mountain View, for practically the last decade, has been one of the hottest markets in the entire Bay Area, one of the strongest markets in the entire Bay Area. Now, the narrative has flipped, and if you look at the graph below, you'll see that in Mountain View, there's a 32% absorption rate, which is neutral market, meaning there's 3 to 6 months of inventory currently on the market as we speak. And that, if you're a home seller in Mountain View, should be concerning if you have a condo or a townhome that you're trying to sell. And the biggest reason why these two markets are suffering, if you really sit down and think about it, who are the major players in these markets? It's Apple and it's Google, right? And Apple and Google are working from home. And when that happens, what happens? Well, all the renters have vacated, they've fled for the most part, right? Especially if their leases have been up. So these investors are putting their home on the market. You couple that with all of the families that are no longer tied to that area because they no longer need to be there physically to work, you are seeing an exodus. Now, if you've watched my videos for any period of time, you will know that I truly believe, and I've made the case for this being a temporary, sensationalized fad. But until the narrative switches and until we get some sort of cure or vaccine for COVID, we will absolutely continue to see these markets not suffer, but underperform where we're used to or accustomed to seeing them. And so I do believe that in the long term, these markets are phenomenal investment opportunities. So if you're looking for somewhere to perhaps make a safe investment that you know will grow in the future, I would highly consider putting your home into a condo or a townhome in the Cupertino and Mountain View areas. And I would continue to monitor the market, but right now, all signs point to the market continuing to be slow for like the next 6 months or so. So continue to monitor it, and there will be good opportunity there. There will absolutely be phenomenal opportunity there. So there you have it, folks. The reality is that right now, the market is significantly outperforming where we would have expected it to be. And the reality is, though, is that being said, there are still some pockets where you're like, that doesn't make any sense. But then when you really start to analyze the reasoning behind it, right, why some of these condos and townhomes are sitting. Another area, downtown San Jose. Downtown San Jose has a flood of condo inventory. And it is truly a buyer's market in downtown San Jose right now in the condo sector. And that is simply because over the last 3 months, we've seen a huge surge of inventory, and no one is buying up right now because no one needs to live in downtown right now. No one needs to be in downtown because most companies are working from home. And so until that changes, I believe that those markets, the ones that we just discussed, are going to continue to suffer, right? Or not suffer, but underperform where we're accustomed to seeing them. Because truthfully, it's still not a bad market. It's not like a terrible market. You know, there are many parts of the country where 6 months is a very typical, or 3 to 6 months is a very typical turnover rate and a very typical a market to be in, market conditions. And right here, we're spoiled. If home doesn't sell in a week, we start to freak out. And the reality is there's no need to panic. There's no need to freak out, because if you believe in tech, if you believe in Silicon Valley, truth is that the market is here to stay, and tech will continue to enable and drive the Silicon Valley real estate market. That's it, everyone. Again, if you are a home buyer in today's market and you're looking for a comprehensive data set similar to what we just shared, text the word data plus your zip code, area, or neighborhood that you're looking in. And if you are a home seller and you are looking for a comprehensive data set to help guide you in pricing your home, go ahead and text the word data plus your property address to the number down below. And we'll get you a comprehensive data set similar to what you're seeing. Again, if you're watching this video on YouTube, go ahead. Do not forget, if you're all the way at the end of this video, thank you. Thank you for staying with me, and go ahead and click that subscribe button. This is Danny Gould, everyone, with the Selling Silicon Valley Group, and I will catch all of you in the next video.